Alrighty guys, I'm bringing you another video here of my trade for today, Thursday, July 24th. And today's 8:30. I'm in my paper trading account. And I'm in my 8:30 midnight setup. So yesterday, yesterday this did work. And I was on my paper trading account. So today I'm in the strategy, the scalping. Again, this is a quick scalp. And as you can see, the midnight was right here. And so was the 8:30. Both coincidentally have the same level, but the 8:30 candle, which is right here, closed below the midnight. So I went in on the trade. And I'm waiting right now. So again, this is a 20-point scalp. Now, I want to kind of go over real quick some rationale when it comes to this little quick scalp. As you can see, I marked out on my chart here some supply and demand levels. And the reason why I started doing this is because, when you know more or less where the market is kind of going to go, then you can set your stop loss accordingly. So because of this, we're on the 5-minute chart. So as you can see right here in this level, which is like, 23, 390, 50, as you can see, there was a big displacement candle going down and then it just kept going. So for me, I consider this area to be, time will tell. But I have a good belief that this level can hold up because there's a lot of selling pressure. There's a lot of selling pressure in this area here. Okay. And then you can see again over here. There was a big bearish candle here, then a big bullish candle, right? The buyers try to get in on control, but then the sellers, went back in control. So, not 100% certain, but I feel comfortable pushing my stop loss right above that level. Okay. So this now, instead of becoming a 1-to-2 risk to reward, now I believe it's going to be like a 2-to-1, or I'm not sure, like a 0.5 or something like that. Yeah. So around 0.5 RR. And, again, that's good enough for me. So I'm going to let this play out and, we'll come back once it's done. Alrighty, everyone. I'm coming back again. So I just, my scalping strategy actually worked today. So that makes, 2 wins and 2 losses for the week. I'm 2 for 4. Which is 50%. So tomorrow we'll see Friday how it goes. But yeah, let me just pull up here my paper trading account and just show y'all what, right, so I made 810. And, this here was from I was doing Forex, and one of my strategies for AUD, USD, failed on me last night. So it's okay. But as you can see, scalping strategy, with NQ worked today. And, yesterday, I believe, let me just see real quick. Yesterday's was, yeah, here it is. Here's what's yesterday. So yesterday was 940. And then today is 810. So, I lost 1600 Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday. You can see, and I'm pretty much back at break even. Hopefully tomorrow could be at, a profit, but yeah, strategy worked. Put my stop loss up here. I had a feeling that this was not going to go up there, but, that's the beauty about this scalping strategy. You can be flexible with your stop loss. Again, make sure to size up appropriate risk and see what what works best for you. Again, these prop trading accounts, you can get, I think, 5 contracts they allow you, depending on the account size. But yeah, this is a really cool, strategy. Right now I am waiting on another, and there it is. Actually, I did not see that. So this is my, momentum strategy. So I'm actually going to place a trade right here because this candle right here broke the high or broke the London low. So I'm going to put this at a 1 to 2. I'm going to put this, this is an area of demand here. So I'm going to probably do like that, and just see, and do my mechanical 1 to 2. Maybe go a little bit, something like that. 7.25, come down here and see if I get tagged in. So the way, this strategy works is, as I would have done it earlier, but as you can see, the EMAs are aligned. So the 50 EMA is above the 100, which is above the 200. So this tells me that it's a bullish bias for today. And again, I try to mark out as much confluence as I can. And so the way I would set this up is, normally you would get a rate of liquidity, which is right here, right? So this is the London session low, which was rated. And you would normally wait so sometimes with this strategy, you'll get like a full body candle close below the London low. And then you wait for the next 15-minute candle to form a bullish candle. And then you take it at that break of that candle. But in this case, sometimes what happens is that it wicks like it did right now. So we're still in that 15-minute candle and it wicked the London low and is going back into a bullish state. So the way I would set this up, and I don't, Liam, again, I give credit to him. This is his strategy that he teaches with his, mentorship group. But, I'm only in the free Discord. So, I don't know if he does explain this in his paid membership. But what I've seen at times is that when you see a candle like this, that wicks the London session low and you're going, you're in a bullish bias. I've seen him when he set trades up is that he takes the trade at the break of that same candle, kind of like, see, I just got tagged in because it's going back up in momentum. And a new candle has now formed here. So if you were to wait until this candle finishes in about, 4 minutes here on the side, and then you wait, say for the next candle, this thing could go up even higher because that's the whole purpose, is a momentum based strategy. You're using momentum in the market. So, I got tagged in on this wick right here. And, because it continues to go up. So, maybe I did it wrong, but you know what? I've learned that you got to make these strategies your own. And this is how I made it my own. And look, let's see if it works out. I put my stop loss right below that wick, and I'm in an area of demand here because the reason why this is an area of demand, if you don't know supply and demand yet, but you see this previous, bearish candle. Well, the next candle actually, was a extremely bullish candle. So with this theory, you would mark out that previous candle, and then from from what the bullish candle or the bearish, right? Whatever, if you're marking supply. But in this case, I'm marking demand out. This candle, the previous candle, you would mark out the high and the low, and that would be an area of demand. So I could foresee, price possibly coming down, maybe even tapping. And so this is a fresh area of demand. So it might tap that and go back up, right? And that's how the market works sometimes. I should have maybe put my stop loss a little bit lower, maybe. I could afford to play around with this. So you know what? Let me go halfway and put it right there so that my stop loss is there. That gives me some wiggle room. And then I take my, stop. I can go, I'll move it to 800. And you know what? Let's keep it at 850. I'll move this up to, right, a mechanical 1 to 2. Doesn't have to be an exact science, but okay. So we're at 1700. Maybe price comes up here. Again, this is all uncharted territory right here. This is all uncharted territory. Why do we say that? Because this right here is an all-time high. So I usually mark this out like that. So this is an all-time high. And so, maybe it might, break the all-time high, maybe, but as you can see, there is room there. Maybe this is an area where market might want to come back down again, right? So, maybe we do something like this, and then possibly, I'm not sure. It could look like that. It could, we still haven't even reached the time for the market to the 9:30 open. Hasn't even arrived yet. So, maybe it'll go down there. Maybe it'll go up there. I'm not sure, but I think the strategy, really does, have a good, see how this 15-minute candle finished right here. Now we're starting a new 15-minute candle, but I got in right before. So actually I'm in a good position because, if I did not get in, I would have gotten in on the break of this candle right here, which would have, that was about a point and a half or so, but, still is a couple ticks. But anyways, guys, that's my setup for this strategy. I am also in on Forex. Again, I try to, I'm dabbling in on Forex. So as you can see, these areas here, I have an indicator that, plots out supply and demands, for, and, it's a pretty nice, indicator. But I got in on this was a 4-hour demand right here that I, was going to take. So this right here was a 4-hour demand. So all this area is a 4-hour demand. And I put my buy limit order there. And yeah, it tagged me in, and now I'm in the trade with my stop loss at the next area of demand. And hopefully it doesn't get hit, but yeah, that's the nature of this trade. And because I'm on the 1-hour time frame, which is what you would want as an entry, if you're swing trading, you want to let this kind of go. Again, it could come down. That's the way markets work. I could be stopped out, which is fine. Again, this is a paper trading account. And, all of this is to learn, guys. I'm learning, and I'm using what I'm learning, putting it into practice. This is how you learn to trade. You forward test strategies, and you practice on a paper trading account. The reason why maybe people may say, oh, don't do paper trading accounts because there's no risk involved and all this other jazz. But the reality is that, it truly is valuable, because what the what the paper trading account does, it's not for you to, oh, look how much money I made. No, it's for you to practice your strategies. There's a reason why practice makes perfect, right? And I always like to use analogies like, I'm a big sports fan, but before you go into the big leagues, you have to play in the minors, right? I mean, look at what just happened in the draft, right? Whoever gets drafted number 1 in the MLB draft, they're going to play a couple years in the minors, practicing, getting up to speed with, live major league pitching, people that are also aspiring to be in the bigs. And I look at trading the same way. I try to go in right away. I first started out trading options and I used real capital and I got smoked, right? I should have used that capital more wisely. And unfortunately, these are mistakes that I made, not knowing that, I didn't realize that there were prop accounts. Like, I didn't do my due diligence in the beginning. I just liked options. I've always liked options and I just went right into options. But then once I started once I learned about futures and Forex, futures more specific, I started using prop accounts and paper trading to practice these strategies. I've had prop accounts. I've had already a few. I've spent some money on them. I've blown some accounts. I actually passed a few prop accounts and then blew accounts afterwards. But that's the part of the learning process. You're learning how to trade. Once I keep, and I have a journal where I keep all these trades logged in. And look, I can see myself within a couple of months, once I get a good flow of my setups and everything, that, hey, maybe this could actually work for me. And then, the more prop firms, challenges I pass, I can be a little bit more strategic and work within that, within those parameters, right? The only thing I don't like about prop accounts is that they put a lot of rules in place. And so, you have to follow a lot of rules, or you got to have this consistency and this, that, and the third. And, in real life, that's why I like with the paper trading, because in paper trading, there is no rules. You just create a demo account with, X amount of money that you want to trade with, right? I always start my paper trading accounts, with $5,000. I don't do like $1 million. I do like $5,000, which is, I would say is a reasonable amount, and I grow it from there, right? As you can see right now, my paper trading account balance is at around, $8,000. I reset, because I like to reset them like every month. Just because, like, for example, in real life, what I would like to do, and this is something I'm going to write down. So, if we were, trading in real life, right? So, in the real life strategy, you would want, ideally, right? Ideally, and what in the world is going on here? Okay. So in the real world, ideally you would want, so let's just say you start out with 5K, right? And this is doable because if you're doing prop trading accounts, and you can get at least, if you can get 5K in payouts, that would be amazing. And you can use that capital now to trade your own account. So start with 5K. And again, you can get that from prop firms. So let's just say, for example, I start with 5K. I'm already at, so I reset it. I reset this account once I started my journey with doing these videos. So that was like last week. All right, so I've already made $3,000. So let's just say, so right now, week to date, actually, I'm sorry. Let me come back. So week to date so far, using this strategy, the 8:30 midnight strategy, and I posted this on X on Friday, but I started out with the paper trading account, and then I went and I started with my prop firm. I think it was last week or the week before, but yeah, week to date using this strategy, I'm up 5,000, right? So I'm up 5105. I'm sorry, month to date. So week to date, right now, as you can see, I lost. As you can see, I lost 1,600. Or let me see, I gained, what was 810 plus 920, and then I lost 1,600 yesterday. So yet week to date, I'm up 130. Right, so week to date, I'm up 130. So, let's see how it goes tomorrow. But if you started with 5K at the beginning of the month, your capital right now, you're sitting at, without any withdrawals, just do the math. But you're sitting, you started with 5K, 5105, that's 130. You're at 10,232, right? So current capital is 10,320. Okay, let's just say. So you got to look at it from a perspective. I need to leave some capital in my account every month, and I withdraw something for myself, right? That's the whole point. That's what we're trying to do. Now, whatever your goals are, then that's what's going to determine how much profit you're going to leave in your brokerage account and how much profits you're going to, withdraw for yourself and for your family. So the way I have it, or my goal, right? This is just for me. This is not for anybody else, but for me, because my ultimate goal is to one day live in the Dominican Republic, right? Right now, I don't need to take any withdrawals from these accounts. And so if, again, we were talking, if this was real money that we were talking about, I would just leave this in and just grow this capital and keep growing it and keep growing it and keep growing it. But once I get into the Dominican Republic, I know that with, $1,500 to like $2,000 a month, I live better than what I do here in the United States with like $1,500 to $2,000 a month. So imagine if you're now withdrawing, $2K a month. Right? So if your month to date, let's say, is, plus 130 equals my month to date right now is 5235, right? So let's just say I said, you know what? I don't need to trade anymore for the rest of the month. Well, guess what? I can withdraw that 2K that I need if I was living in the Dominican, and I will leave the extra whatever it is, right? So 5235 minus 2K. I'll leave the 3235, and that'll give me a capital at the end of the month which is, what did we say it was? 3235 plus my original 5K. So now I'm at 82,000. Let's just say 8,200, right? So you see how, and again, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this channel and if you've lasted this long on this video, I really appreciate it, because it really goes to show you that you are an honest person, that you are actually seeking out honest hearted people, and you're not just doing this for vanity reasons, to be in a Lambo and all this other stuff. You really want to, use trading as a tool in your life to give you freedom. Well, guess what? If every month I am making this amount and I'm withdrawing this amount, and look, we still have a week left in July. And if I'm making this every month and I'm only withdrawing this, at what rate is my capital going to grow, right? So if let's go back to that example. If I am growing my account 12 months, so that 38,000, that's 38,000 in capital that I've put in 1 month, plus my original 5K. So now at the end of the year, I'm at $43,000. Now add on the 24,000 that you take out, right? You're going to pay some taxes on it, but you add that, you have $67,000 that you've made for the year, doing these simple strategies. And again, that's why I paper trade them first. And you're not going to win them all. You're going to lose. Maybe some months you might make 52. Maybe some months you might only make 2,000. And, you withdraw your 2,000 and maybe you don't add to the capital for that month. But if you can add capital back into your account every month, you never have to touch your original capital. I mean, look, the sky is the limit. You can, and then look, and this is just keeping the same strategy with the same amount of contracts, with the same amount of stop loss, etc., etc. If in 6 months you're at, $20-something thousand in your account, maybe you can size up to one more contract. And maybe now you can bring your stop loss, instead of 20 points, now you only need 15 points, right? So now I only need 15 points instead of 20, and my strategy is only going to have a higher win rate and a higher win rate and a higher win rate. And that's how you start sizing up in your account. Now, again, I'm preaching to the choir, right? You may say, well, Jonathan, you're not even doing this yourself, or you're not a profitable trader yet. How can you look, you don't need to, you can learn from people's mistakes, and that's how you can become wise. We don't need to, jack ourselves up, rack up a whole bunch of debt in trying to, play the stock market in order for us to learn lessons. We don't need to do that. Now, yes, have I lost a couple $1,000s doing this? Yes, I have. But like any business, if you try to start a business right now, what are you going to start a business in, right? Every business requires capital, and I've started other businesses. I have started other businesses, and let me tell you, I've spent more than a couple $1,000s. Okay, starting a business and investing in marketing and all these other things, and sometimes, the business that I've started eventually have failed because I could not invest more than what was required, right? I used to have a cleaning company. That was really good for us. We closed it down because we, had some problems with clients, and, at the end we moved somewhere else. But, I started other businesses, and no other business for me seems to be the most appealing than doing trading, because number one, I don't have to worry about other people. I don't have to worry about selling to other people or trying to convince people of my services, on what I have to offer. Human psychology, people are so, stuck in their ways. It's frustrating, man. When you have to earn a living and you have to sell something to somebody, it truly is frustrating. But with trading, guess what? It's all about you, right? You level up, you educate yourself. There's so much content on YouTube that you can learn from. Level up and practice. A subscription to TradingView is a couple, it's like 20 something dollars a month. I paid for the year, so I got a discount, but yeah, I got the premium version. I paid for the market data. These are costs that I don't consider them as a waste. They're an investment. They're an investment to my business, which is my trading. And crunching the numbers like this is what you're aiming for. Now when you trade, you have clarity. You trade, practice so that you can create discipline and then this only fuels your purpose. So trading with intentions is the key to success. And you don't have to be Warren Buffett in order to be successful. You don't have to be Jeff Bezos. You don't have to even look, I'm only pointing out to you peanuts, right? These are peanut numbers. You go online, people are saying, oh yeah, I made, $50,000 in one trade or $100,000 in a month. Okay, that's great. That's great if you can do that. More power to you. But this is realistic right here. These numbers are realistic. And I've already showed you how realistic this can be. Little by little, you can grow an account and you could definitely fuel your purpose, right? What is your why? So guys, I'm still in this trade here this morning. I don't know when this is going to pan out, but what I'll do is I will go ahead and leave the video for today. It's already been long enough. I already gave you my spiel. But thank you again for supporting this channel. If you've watched this far, thank you. Down below, there is a link to AQUAFUTURES, which is a prop firm that I'm affiliated with. They have, good discounts. Give it a try, guys. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace out. I want you to be mine.